What up? Welcome to the Micah Dixon podcast. I'm Micah Dixon, and we are podcasting, talking from the beach. Can you hear the ocean Can you hear the ocean a little bit? Maybe. Anyway, what's popping with you? What's good? If you missed my last episode, go watch it. Here is a recap right here. The next morning, they were like, "This is your last day," and I said goodbye to the Micah Dixon show on Z1079 Radio 1 after 10 years, 10 amazing years. Goodbye to that position I held there. So yeah, I know that was a lot for you to get in one take, but I was like, first of all, I felt bad that my audience, who I love with my whole heart, you know this. Micah's group chat is about community. Micah is about community. So when you know that, you know where my heart is for the people, okay? Micah is for the people. So anyway, my audience had no idea that I left radio because I just didn't announce it. I'm in the habit now of just living my life and not announcing the transitions of what I'm going through. Like, again, when my sister went on her journey and I, covered her children, I did not announce it. When my mother passed away, I did announce it. I was very vocal because I was like, this is crazy. I don't know how to deal with death for a parent. And keep in mind, I did lose, my brother in 2008. So I remember losing him and losing my mind and being angry. But when my mother passed away, it was just different because I'm older, a lot more mature, and I know who God is for myself. So I didn't take it as I was like, Lord, my goodness, But let's talk about that today, Let's talk about being kind to those who are grieving, and just kind of being kind, period, and the strength of being kind. Because I remember, I don't know why, for some reason, when maybe it's just a black people thing, and if it is, okay, and if not, let's fix this. But it's like when somebody pass away, people disappear. What should bring people together and closer? First of all, it should not take a funeral or wedding to bring you all together. So when someone does die, because we don't know how to take and accept death, we get away from the person that is mourning or grieving, And I get it. We all take death differently. But let me tell you one thing. We all have to take that part one day. We all, as humans, creatures, creeping, crawling things, have that in common. We all will take our last breath one day, right? So in knowing that, when someone does lose somebody, figure out how to extend some love or care or acts of kindness towards them. Acts to clean their house, acts to make them food, acts to, take the kids to school. But find ways to cover them in that type of mourning and grief. Because I remember when my mother died, one of my friends disappeared. And I think because he just wasn't mentally able to handle all of that. Because one of our friends, she had lost her mom. And then his mom had got sick. My mom was dealing with what she was dealing with. And I think my mother passed away. He kind of just was like, he just disappeared. He disappeared. I still don't know where he at to this day. And I think because I'm so much about God now that he just can't be around me. And that's okay. But I remember that, like, why do people just leave you or get all freaked out because somebody around you died? Like, maybe people fear death. I get it, completely. But let's change that. So when someone, does lose a loved one, be present for them, Again, you can clean their house. You can take their kids to school. You can offer to do their laundry. You can offer to cook them something. You can offer to read them a book. I don't care what it is, but don't run away from people when they lose someone, because people need you more in those moments. And not everyone knows how to deal with losing someone. How I dealt with it was that I always prayed, always asked God. I always was fasting, always looking to him for answers. I didn't hop online and research where are they? Where do they go? I think I may have done that once, but not for real. But I may have the supernatural spirit realm. Where's my mom? I want to hear her voice. I may have done that once or twice. I don't know. But, I still get to mourn her because I still miss her every day. But yet I understand that she ran her race and she handed me the baton. And now it's my time to run. And baby, I'm a track star. Baby, I'm a track star. You hear me? Yes, I miss her. And I remember her. And I have great memories of her. And I have voice recordings of her, but I had to talk to God about it and let him deal with me on that. And I remember him telling me before, when I was asking him, like, my mom, I was supposed to, get her in my house and give her these herbs and heal up her kidneys. And I was supposed to do this for her and that for her. And I'm talking to him within myself. And he was just like, she wasn't yours to keep. I'll never forget that, And I went to the Bible to find it. I can't think of the scripture right now, but it talks about how we all belong to him and have to return. But I never forget, he was like, she wasn't yours to keep. And I felt so guilty because truth is, I did not create my mother. I did not give her life. I did not, give her the wisdom and the grace she carried. I did not give her purpose. I guess my life in a sense did add to her purpose, but I am not her creator. And so when I heard him tell me that, I was like, you right. My bad, Lord. My bad. This still don't feel good. This still don't feel good, That's my mom. And I know he understood because even he lost his son, on the cross. So even he understands death very well. So anywho, I wanted to share that with you. But getting into kindness, jumping into the strength of being kind to yourself and being kind to others. Kindness is not a pushover. Kindness is not disrespectful. And kindness is needed and necessary in the world a lot more. But I just want to encourage you to be kind to someone that may be going through something, because people are supposed to change. Transitions do happen. Shifts do happen. You're one way today and different the next, but just continuing to remind yourself to be kind to someone who may be going through something, because you don't know what somebody is carrying or what they're going through. I can't even recall the number of looks I got from people when I was out with 5 kids at the grocery store. We're out at the airport and people looking like, she probably got 5 baby daddies. She got 5 kids. You don't even know my story. But I got these looks from people who were like judging me because I had 5 kids, not knowing, what my mission and what I'm carrying, what it was, right? But some people were super nice, like, oh my goodness, they're just lovely and adorable. Some people were like, want to talk to the kids, and some just understood. Like, I remember going to their school in Parma and putting them in school, and one of the counselors was like, I understand, but I also don't, because so many children don't have their parents. So many children are raised by their aunts, uncles, grandparents because of their parents' path. So, and they were super kind to me, super nice. And I was like, dang, this is something that a lot of us deal with and don't talk about. Because I didn't know that so many people and so many kids are not in their home with their parents. Not just a single home, but they don't even have a mom or dad because of whatever issue, So when I heard that, I was like, I want to be nice to anybody that, is taking this on. I'm nice anyway. If you ever met me in person, I'm super nice. Like, that's easy. But I want to make sure I'm intentional with people, who have that assignment to raise, another person's child. That was never my mission. I didn't think it was. It wasn't like I'm looking for babies. Give me your baby. Give me your baby. I want your baby. And mind you, I had been a stepmom for my first son's father children. So I have done, before I even had my child, I was already a mother. But it was never my mission to go and raise my sister's kids. I remember when God told me to be kind to my sister. And I was like, why? What? Like, that's a whole different story. We won't even get into the things she put me through personally, right? My little sister. But I remember God was like, show grace. And I'm just like, you know, I remember when she came to live with us after she got sober. And she came to live with us. And I remember just being in this amazing space in my life where I was just like, just graceful. And I remember when, you know, she called me and she was like, you know, me and my dude got into it, come pick me up. And if I had not worked on myself, if I had not learned to love the Lord and to serve and be obedient to him, I would have been in a different mindset. But because I had already been prayerful, I've already been fasting for her, I've already been, you know, ready to have her call my phone and say like, you know, I need you in this moment. And she didn't say it in those words, but God was like, go get her. I went and picked her up, told her get all her clothes, all your stuff, come live with us. I have space in my house. I have room for you. Come stay here. You're fine. And I never questioned her. I never, you know, was like, "Urgh," but I was just like, whatever you need, I'll help you. You don't got to pay no rent. You don't got to pay any bills. Just come here, take care of yourself. Your children are here. They're comfortable here. They'll be happy to have you here. And, you know, that's how that went. And I was like, dang, how was I able to even be? Because the other me would have been like, but because I had developed, you know, this softness and kindness within myself, I was able to give that to her. Because I was so kind to myself, I was able to show that and extend that to her. Because I had removed whatever frustration and annoyance and doubt or worry or, you know, unforgiveness I had in myself, I was able to give that to her. And I remember because, you know, I didn't have it to give. You know, had it been in a different month, if it wasn't December, if it was like probably October or July, I would have been like, no, I'm cool. No, this ain't happening. I didn't have it, you know, but I did develop even more acts of kindness, you know, not only to my sister, but to all those that just need it, you know, to those who are on the street and don't have a home, to those who are a tad bit on the wrong detour, to those who have wronged someone and yet deserve forgiveness. I have developed that, you know. There's so much strength in kindness because it's easy to be like, I don't like you. Actually, you know what? That may be a lot more work. It may be a lot more work to be like, your nervous system is like tightening up and your cells can't even breathe properly because you're just mad all the time. That's why you about to develop. Let me stop. But anyway, if you know, you know. Your emotions are linked to diseases. So it's the reason why we ought to be graceful and kind and caring and loving, because your body needs to breathe properly. Your cells need to breathe and function properly. So yeah, I developed kindness, and I'm thankful for those that have shown me kindness. I am in a great space in my life right now. I'm at the beach and I'm just talking with a mic in my hand. And I know people are like, oh, she over there podcasting? That beach over there is so full. And yes, I am, honey. Yes, I am, honey. I am relaxing. I had me some water. And I was like, let me just talk for a second or whatever. So, but I hope you take away from this, you know, to be kind to someone, because you don't know what that person may be carrying. I don't care what they look like, dress like, smell like. You don't know when someone is at the end of their rope and maybe ready to snap. So, and kindness is simple. Kindness just looks like you smiling at somebody. You know, a lot of us women, we're not kind to ourselves. In here, in your core, you know, you're in a battle on the inside, and where you should be, you know, living and enjoying yourself and happy and free, you're in here destroying yourself, you know. I learned to speak kind to myself a lot more when I got 5 kids. I was like, you can do this. You are wonderful. You have the authority. You will get through this. This too shall pass. You know, this is for you to carry. You have the strength and the grace to carry this. And that's what I did, you know. That's what I did. Let me just say, God's favor is so good that it does not matter how bad or big that Goliath may be. God's favor is so good. And if you know one thing about me and him, God don't play about me. This, you know, if you didn't know. So, I just thank God for his word and for, of course, just continuing to grow me, continuing to use me as a willing vessel, and, you know, just having his way in my life, and letting his will be done in my life. So I thank God for that. I thank God for, you know, changing my heart towards my sister, because a part of me wanted to be just like, how could you abandon your children? What kind of mom are you? And, you know, these moms is this, and these moms, and they always say it's the fathers, but if these moms are this and that, and I didn't have any kind of hate towards her. I didn't have any kind of like shade towards her. I remember being with her frustrated, and because she lived with me, you know, most recently, you know, and her just not being ready to really be a mom, but me having to help nurture her back into being a mother, you know, I was just like, my heart has changed. My heart posture is different. And I'm thankful for that. You know, the way my heart processes and functions is like, just give love. Love can cover the multitude of sin. Love covers a multitude of sin. Just show love. Extend love. Now I look at my sister and I'm like, dang, you really being a mom again. And you better than the mom you was before this even happened. So yeah. And again, to all of my listeners and my audience, my bad if I didn't tell y'all I was done with the radio, but my life has taken off to a whole different dimension that I can't drop all the tea I want to yet, but it's coming soon. Don't get it twisted. We were just in Greece, Santorini. That's that. Until next time, listen, subscribe, like, and comment the Micah Dixon podcast. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been here, what's poppin'? Other than that, peace out.